My family lives in a hot, dry climate in inland Southern California. Because of this, our front yard has a section where it is nearly impossible to grow grass, where it's almost impossible to get a decent looking landscape. And it doesn't help that we have stray cats like this fella digging in our yard. So I decided to convert this section into a drought-resistant xeriscape. Now to do that, I started by basically hitting this section, the brown section that is, with Spectracide to kill all of the grass and frankly all of the weeds. And then I waited 2 weeks and let that Spectracide kind of evaporate off into the ether. And then I took an edger and cut a defined border between the healthy portion of the front lawn and the section that I would convert into a xeriscape. Next, I raked off all the loose debris, all the dead leaves, etc., and then found a spot for a rather large aloe plant that we had growing in a pot in our backyard. I stuck it right on the corner. However, I also made the mistake of plopping some decorative rock right down on the bare ground without putting down a barrier first. Don't do that. Instead, get yourself a weed and grass barrier, pictured there. Put that down and then put the rock on top of it. Now, I decided to plant the larger plants first, then put the barrier down, but I also cut holes for some smaller plants after I installed the barrier. I'll show details on that coming up. With the barrier in place and a trailer full of decorative rock at my disposal, well, next it's time for the grunt labor. Yes, it's time to start shoveling rock onto the barrier. Not the most fun part of this project, but certainly, well, probably the most value-oriented, because a project like this, you could spend hundreds of dollars, maybe even thousands of dollars on a professional landscaping team to do this for you. It took me a lot less than that because I didn't mind doing the grunt labor, and what the heck, it's good exercise. Pro tip, get somebody to help you and offer them a 6-pack of beer. I didn't have that option. My friends are too smart. Once I had all the decorative rock shoveled out and spread evenly across the barrier, the next step was to basically create a border. I wanted to use concrete bricks, concrete blocks as a border, and I chose gray concrete bricks, but first I had to dig a small trench for those. So what I did was I got my square-edged shovel and just basically dug a small trench. I had to pull back the barrier and start digging. Yes, more digging. So if you haven't figured it out by now, your biggest expense likely won't be materials. It's going to be time for your labor. Having said that, you can save quite a bit of money on a project like this, and honestly, all of your labor is going to be up front. I mean, once you're done with this actual project, the labor after that is very little. I mean, it's not like you're ever going to have to mow this section of your yard. I've had this xeriscape project in place for about a year now, and really all I've had to do since installing it is get out the leaf blower and just blow some dead leaves off of the rockscape. Eventually I may expand this rockscape or xeriscape beyond this section into other parts of my front yard, which I'm still struggling getting grass growing in certain sections. You can see a dead spot right next to the xeriscape. But there's pros and cons to that. I mean, materials expense is one thing, but you've also got to think about aesthetics. I mean, we do have sections of our yard that are pretty healthy, and I'd like to at least try to get some grass growing in the dead zones before I just give up completely and turn those dead zones into another xeriscape. I made sure to get all of the debris, all the dirt out of the trench, and made sure that the dirt was nice and level before I placed the bricks. Earlier, I mentioned that I added some plants after placing the barrier down, after I added the rock, and it's really easy to do that. Just get out a pair of scissors like so. That barrier material is easy to cut through. Get yourself a little bit of an opening and then get out your shovel. Yes, your shovel once again. Start digging and get yourself a space big enough to add a plant. Now, in this instance, I'm adding, and I'll probably botch the pronunciation, Kalanchoe thyrsophora. If you're a nursery person, please don't critique me too much on botching that pronunciation if I did. But it's also commonly known as a paddle plant. I guess some people call these a desert cabbage. Apparently, I don't know. But These guys are pretty hardy. They don't need water really at all. You don't want to get their roots wet. Or if you do get their roots wet, I guess you're supposed to let the roots completely dry out between waterings. Anyway, this guy is super hardy. I've had it in place for a year. Well, actually, all these plants have been in place for a year. They don't get a lot of water. In fact, they don't get any water from nearby sprinklers. Here's a close-up of the border and a good walk around of the xeriscape. And I think it's an improvement over what was there before. Yes, there's a dead zone nearby, but the xeriscape itself is looking pretty good. There's our aloe plant. He's rocking and rolling. In fact, all of our drought-tolerant plants are looking pretty good. Hope this video gave you some ideas on how to deal with your tattered lawn. If it did, please subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.